Good evening and welcome to the December 17th meeting of Council, which I will now call to order. Are there any declarations of interest? Seeing none, I will move to item C. With our land acknowledgement statement, the town of East Gwillimbury recognizes and acknowledges the lands originally used and occupied by the First Peoples of the Williams Treaty First Nation and other Indigenous peoples. And on behalf of Council, I thank them for sharing this land. We also acknowledge the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation as East Gwillimbury's closest First Nation community and recognize the unique relationship the Chippewas have with the lands and the water of this territory. They are the water protectors and environmental stewards of these lands, and we join them in these responsibilities. We are at item D in our agenda, and there are no deputations at this time. Item E is presentations, and we have no presentations at this time as well. Item F is the committee recommendations to adopt the Committee of the Whole Council recommendation from the meeting held on December 3rd, 2024. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Crothers, Councillor Johns, all those in favor, and that's carried. Number 2 is to adopt the Committee of the Whole recommendations from the meeting held on December 17th, 2024. I'll ask staff to present them on the screen, and could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Crone and Councillor Roy DeClemente. Thank you. Be it resolved that Council adopt the Committee of the Whole Council recommendations from the meeting held on December 17th, 2024. All in favor? No opposed?
One opposed, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'm sorry. One opposed? That's carried. Be it resolved that Council adopt the Committee of the Whole minutes from the meeting held on December 3rd, 2024. All in favor? Oh, Councillor Crothers. I'm going to second that. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Number 2, adopt the council minutes from the following meetings: special meeting held on December 3rd, 2024, and our regular meeting held on December 3rd, 2024. I have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Crone, Councillor Foster. Be it resolved that Council adopt the following minutes: council minutes from the special meeting held on December 3rd, 2024, council minutes from the regular meeting held on December 3rd, 2024. All in favor? No opposed? That's carried. Item H is correspondence for consideration. Number 1 is correspondence from M. Jordan dated November 13th, 2024 regarding the installation of a Lest We Forget crosswalk in 2025. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor LaHaye and Councillor Crone. Be it resolved.
Through you, Madam Mayor, can we discuss it?
Oh, certainly. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Through you, Madam Mayor. So I read with interest that this is something actually that was brought to my attention a few weeks ago or a month ago, perhaps, from several residents, because there was some information on social media about it and recent municipalities that had passed a special walkway commemorating the Lest We Forget. And they've done so recently in Aurora as well. So I wanted to have some discussion about it. I was hoping that we could put forward a motion that after speaking with staff and getting some information about themed walkways and how much they cost, etc., that we have one only in East Gwillimbury, as I understand it, right here at the Civic Center. And so I was going to put forward a motion that we ask staff to consider location in the future, potentially, of a Lest We Forget walkway, and that we would consider that in the future as a council.
Discussion? Councillor Crothers, go ahead, please.
I believe that council had voted in favor of having one pride crosswalk in each ward, and we started with this one to see how it went, and we are awaiting the results of that to decide if we want the 2 more. So we have 2 more coming, pending how this one works out.
Thank you.
So, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I seem to recall that we had a deputation from a representative from the Legion just recently who had suggested that we have some sort of a commemorative program. So I believe we referred that to staff, and I'd be happy to add this to the recommendation to, for this to be included as part of the consideration for what staff are doing with in conjunction with the Legion.
Any other comments? Yes, go ahead, please.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So since I moved it, should I put forward some language to add this into consideration for an overall plan, or part of a plan of, overall plan of themed walkways, that this be added to that? So which
Councillor Crothers?
I'm Roy DeClemente.
Sorry.
Actually. That's okay. I didn't know we had a program for themed walkways. I was under the impression that we had deliberately wanted to put the pride crosswalks in place, but we didn't actually adopt a whole program of, we don't even know if that particular crosswalk is sustainable, whether the paint worked, how much it will cost to maintain, and so on. So we were still waiting. There was no program per se, but I was happy to have this initiative included with that of what the Legion had reached out to us about.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So yes, I would be, that's the reason I wish to have the discussion about it. If that's added to the discussion of the follow-up from the Legion deputation, that I would be very pleased to support that.
Thank you. I think it's important that we also include our staff, particularly who maintain our roads, to make sure that there's a discussion regarding the painting. I know we've all been in other communities where they thought it was a great idea to paint the road with whatever, and after a couple of years with salt and sand, it's not there, or it's not particularly inviting to the community, and as a result, it seems to stay that way. So I'm just not sure. Would you have any comments on that, please?
Through you, Madam Mayor, certainly. Our experience has been somewhat limited, but we do know that on high traffic roads, those sorts of facilities don't hold out very well, and that's why it was tested in the Civic Center. And that one does seem to be doing okay with less traffic. But I think that that's something that we can report back to council on. Give us a little bit of time on that, and we'll be able to make some recommendations as to what areas may be most suitable for those things to be able to last and be cost effective, because they are quite expensive to install.
And I would think that if they're quite expensive to install, and the sand and the salt and whatever works away at them for a couple of years, by the time you're ready to do it again, the timing, you didn't have a lot of time for it to be seen to by the community. I think it's shorter term. It just doesn't quite last, but I'll leave it up to, did you want to say a few words? Okay.
If I could, Madam.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Wherever the amendment lands, whether it be Councillor Leahy or Councillor Roy DeClemente, I want to be clear, it is my full-throated support, and if it means that we have to fix it up every 6 months or every year, every 2 years, or every 5 years, then I would lend my support to that as well. So there's my full-throated support for the Lest We Forget crosswalk.
Thank you. So there is a, yes, go ahead, Councillor Crothers.
I'm just wondering if staff can maybe let us know when the pending item, we were supposed to get a report back about the first crosswalk, and the other 2 crosswalks, we had talked about putting them at the library, the Pride crosswalks. So we're waiting for that report back to find out if we're going ahead with those. So I was just wondering if we had some timing on that would help with the timing with this.
When would you normally put it on the road? Would it be middle of the summer when isn't the frost, et cetera, or?
No, I'm wondering about the report back. So the crosswalk's there, and it was supposed to be a report back within a year or something, but then the parking lot got ripped out and that, so we're waiting for that report back. I'm not sure if it's on the pending items list. Perhaps the clerk can check on that, not immediately, but make sure it's on that list. I just don't want to be adding too many more crosswalks until we're sure that they're working for us. And so are we a year away from that? Are we 6 months away? Makes a difference of when we go forward with this.
Go ahead, please.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So that's an item that we can work together, PRC and NEPW, and we'll come back with a report that kind of lays out what some of the options are and costs, et cetera. We can do that probably in Q1 2025.
Thank you. So I'm back to the motion that came forward. Okay, thank you.
Through you, Madam Mayor, the proposal is placed on the screen before you in blue.
Be it resolved that the correspondence from M. Jordan dated November 13th, 2024 regarding the installation of at least Lest We Forget crosswalk in 2025 be received and referred to staff in conjunction with the request from the Royal Canadian Legion regarding the veteran banners. Any questions? All those in favor? And that's carried. Item number 2 on our agenda is correspondence from, excuse me, T. Mrakas, Mayor of Aurora, dated December 6, 2024, regarding a motion to request the redistribution of the provincial land transfer tax and GST to municipalities for sustainable infrastructure funding. And be it resolved that the correspondence from T. Mrakas, Mayor of Aurora, dated December 6, 2024, regarding a motion to request distribution of the provincial land transfer tax and GST to municipalities for sustainable infrastructure funding be received. Is there a mover? Second. Councillor Crone. Councillor Foster. All those in favor? And that's carried. We are at reports. We have a financial memo establishment of the Town Reserve Fund, and this is in relation to item J1, and I will turn that over to General Manager Marshall.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. This memo, as you mentioned, refers to the bylaw that's on the agenda, and it's basically a housekeeping exercise in order to utilize the collections that we receive from our tree preservation bylaw. We need to establish a reserve, and reserves have to be approved by council. So,
Thank you. Questions? Councillor Leahy, go ahead.
Thank you very much, through you, Madam Mayor. My question is in relation to the establishment of this. When we were having budget discussions, it wasn't in the public budget discussions, but it was in the private ones that the councillors had one-on-one with you, Mr. Marshall. There was some discussion that there was an account that had over $1 million in it for trees, for some purposes related to trees. That was not in the budget document. And I recall that you referred to that. So I'm just wondering, is there an account that exists that already that takes care of trees?
through you, Madam Mayor, we received funding last year, I think it was last year, through Woodbine 1 for the tree preservation compensation. We didn't have a reserve that was set up at the time, so we had to put it in an account. So this allows us to actually put it into that account, into that reserve, sorry, from that account. So this will be the funding that will be utilized.
Right, so just through you, Madam Mayor,
Go
if I
ahead.
may ask another question, just for clarification. So there's a fund, there's an account that already exists to take care of trees that has over $1 million in it. So I'm wondering why we would need to establish a separate town reserve fund.
So through you, Madam Mayor, as reserves and reserve funds have to be approved by council, that we received the funding and we didn't have a reserve set up at the time, so we had to put it aside in an account. And once we set up the reserve, we move it from the account into the reserve.
So,
Go ahead.
final clarification. So basically, we are taking that, how much money is it exactly? Over $1 million or $1 million? And we're transferring it from that account, from Woodbine 1, and we're putting it in this new tree reserve fund that we're establishing, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So, but the exact amount, do you know the exact amount in the?
Through Madam Mayor, I don't have the exact amount in my head. It was around $1 million, so.
Other questions, comments? Proceed. You're the mover? I have a seconder. Councillor Crothers. Be it resolved that the finance memorandum dated September 17th, 2024, entitled Establishment of Town Reserve Fund, be received. All those in favor? That's carried. Number 2 is Development Services Memo Appointment Bylaw, Aurora Animal Services. And is there someone who may be speaking on this? Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. This, as council is aware, we've entered into an agreement with Aurora for animal services. And so this is sort of the bylaw that authorizes the members of the Aurora staff to act in that capacity within East Gwillimbury. And I note that we have our manager of bylaws, Harinder Singh, here today, as well as Lindsay Clark, who is a representative of Aurora's Animal Services. And they're here to answer any questions and may even be able to share some recent good news stories about how successfully the work is going so far. We had a recent rescue of a barred owl that was rehabilitated and sort of shows that the program is working as it was intended. So.
Wonderful. I had the opportunity of meeting some of the folks from Aurora as well. I had a young fawn that clearly was not to be on her own alone and made a phone call and was very impressed at the way that the young lady handled the situation. I felt terrible for it. I would have kept it. But it was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So please pass along my thanks and the professionalism that the young lady had was very, very telling that she really cared. So it's wonderful. So good to have you on side. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? You'll move? Crothers. All those in favor? And that's carried. Okay. Item J is bylaws. We have 3 bylaws. One is regarding establish a tree planting and protection reserve fund. The second one is to levy interim taxes in 2025. The third one is a bylaw to appoint animal services officers for the corporation of the town of East Gwillimbury. Be it resolved that the bylaws 2024-084, 2024-85, and 2024-087 be taken as read, enacted, and signed by the mayor and municipal clerk.
Madam Mayor,
Yes?
can we separate them, please? Vote on them separately?
We could. Which one would you like separated, or would you want all of them separated
All
out?
3, if we could vote on
All
all 3
three.
separately, I think that
Okay,
would be good.
so let's start with bylaw 2024-084. That's the one on the top, relation to 1.1. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Crone, Councillor Roy DiClemente, all those in favor? And that's carried. Second one is bylaw 2024-085, being a bylaw to levy interim taxes in 2025. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Crothers, Councillor Foster, All those in favor? And that's carried. The third one, bylaw 2024-087, being a bylaw to appoint animal services officers for the corporation of the town of East Gwillimbury. Could I have a mover and seconder for that one? Councillor Crone, Councillor Crothers, go ahead. All those in favor? And that's carried. I believe that that's all that we have. Thank you very much. Sorry?
Madam Mayor, you're on item K now, which is other
Yes,
business.
yes, I just want to thank you for coming out tonight and enjoy East Gwillimbury. Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the bylaws, et cetera, confirming bylaw? Moved, seconded by Councillor Foster. Be it resolved that bylaw 2024-086 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council meeting held on December 17th, 2024 be taken as read and acted and signed by the mayor and municipal clerk. All in favor? And that's carried. Before we adjourn our final meeting of 2024, I want to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to council and staff for the hard work and the effort put into 2024. It's been a busy year, and we have done some great work here. 2025 will continue to be a busy time for us and an exciting at the same time with the planned opening of our new Health and Active Living Plaza. Really looking forward to that. I wish everyone the very best for the holidays. Please enjoy some time with family and friends. Rest and recharge, and we will see you all back here in January. Thank you very much. Could I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn our meeting tonight? Councillor Crone, Councillor Hank, all those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you very much.